Hey there, it's Steve Larson again, and I want to welcome you to video number 2. Now, you must really be high achievers because you not only are you watching the videos, but you're being persistent and consistent in going through this stuff. So today we are in for a treat. Today we're talking about the power pyramid. And the power pyramid is how we divvy up the funds so that we can create that wonderful retirement that we all dream of. So there's a lot of different opinions out there about where we should put our money. And today I'm going to talk to you how to build a rock solid foundation, okay? And make it really work. So let's get into business. And so what I put together here is just a visual representation of how we're going to split up our funds so that we can be more efficient than what we talked about in the last video with all the Mad Libs. Remember the Mad Libs and we had that target fund that we had to hit to and accumulate our nest egg to? Well, we're going to figure out how to make this a lot more efficient by using products and strategy. So products are the things we're investing in, and strategy is how we're investing in them. And so we're going to marry those two things through the rest of this video series. So if you can see this down here, we're going to first talk about this zone called the rock solid foundation. I'm not even sure you can see that. But the rock solid foundation are things that basically supply for our needs. In the first intro video, we talked about how Maslow created this hierarchy of needs chart of how we needed basic things like food, water, shelter, and then it continues to go on from there: safety, esteem, and love and connection and self-actualization. Tony Robbins has his own version, but we have these needs, and so we've got to make sure that our investment strategy doesn't affect our needs, because if our investment strategy affects our needs, then we start to get hectic and we lose financial peace. We go back into scarcity, we shrink, and we're not able to produce the value that we need to for the world. So things that go onto our rock solid foundation, okay? So first of all, we've got to have like 1 month cash, like just in a safe or somewhere where we're holding on to it. And we know that, hey, I can cover 1 month of expenses. That gives me 30 days to be able to regroup and figure things out. So I've got that. I know I can feed my family for at least 1 month. We'll have a roof over our head. So we're fulfilling these needs. Now, some other things, if there's natural disaster, I know that sometimes this has happened, depending on what area of the country you live. Sometimes in order to increase that level of security, we need to have some food storage, some water storage, some other like emergency preparedness stuff, just so that we can make sure that we feel prepared and we're like, okay, I'm good for at least a month. Now, what else falls in this rock solid foundation is we want to make sure that we have the proper coverage on all of our insurances. We want to make sure that we don't have risk that are going to come and steal the money out of our business, steal the money out of our personal accounts. So we have to make sure that we're covered for our liability for auto, for our home, for life, for if you own a business, workers' comp, professional liability, these commercial type of insurance policies. Make sure we have the right coverages or umbrella coverages so that lawsuits or things that just happen to us, stuff happens, we have to make sure that doesn't just sweep away all our hard-earned money, all right? So that's part of this rock solid foundation. Now, another part of that is making sure we have the basics education. So if you already have your education, how do we get that education for our children? Make sure that we're investing in ourselves so that we can continue to use our minds and our ability to create value for others, all right? So that is the base layer. Oh, excuse me, one more thing we didn't talk about. Legal structures, and including wills and trust, okay? So legal structures are like LLCs, LLPs, an S corp. Depending on what type of business you have and what part of the country you live in, you'll want to work with a CPA on this to make sure that you have the right legal structure to incorporate for you, right? And you say, hey, well, I'm an employee and I don't have my own business. Well, let's treat this as a business and find a way to be able to create some income through other sources, even as through your investing, and put that into a business, a legal structure, so you're protecting it. In addition, I mentioned trust and living wills. We want to make sure we have medical directives, power of attorneys, things in place so that if the if the worst happens, that we know that our stuff's not going through probate, our kids are going to who we want them to go to instead of who the state decides. All these things are critical and foundational to our financial peace. So once you have that base layer, that rock solid foundation, from there we go to the opportunity fund. Now, when I was working in the real estate field and I did quite a few fix and flip investments. What I really thought was super annoying was between deals, I would get a good return in a real estate fix and flip, and then I would have money parked somewhere, and then it would sit there for a couple weeks, and then I'd put it into another deal, and I was like, I put it into the bank and I'd get like 0.025%, and it was driving me crazy. Like, how do I create an opportunity fund? I need to continue to grow it, and I'm funding it through the money that I get paid. But how do I continue to grow the opportunity fund? Now, if you look at the populace of the United States, you've got, I want you to write this down, 5, 15, and 80. 5% of people are wealthy. They have generational wealth. So this means 5 million and above, and are able to produce for their own needs and also have money going to the next generation, all right? So that's 5%. 15% are people that are, say, the middle class. By retirement, they'll have their house paid off, and they'll be able to create a retirement income without having to work. Now, 80%, that is a lot of people. So 8 out of 10 people are on the path to really having to work in retirement, have the government have to subsidize their retirement, or have their family have to take care of them in retirement. Now, how many of us know someone that's on that path? Now, don't make fun of them and don't point fingers at them. Let's help them. Let's figure out how to get the proper education so we can increase their financial acumen so they can become financially free. But the way that happens is all the way that you get paid. So let's say you get paid a check, or you're getting paid from your business. That money is flowing in. It's going straight to their checking account and straight to their spending account, right? That's what the 80% are doing. And then whatever's left over, then they're like, oh, maybe I'll invest some here, or I'll do this, or blah, blah, blah. But they're not paying themselves first. If you're familiar with any, financial gurus, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, the principle is pay yourself first. So when we pay ourselves first, where are we gonna put that money? Okay, we don't wanna be in that 80%. That's out of the question for us. If you're here listening to this, you for sure do not want to be in the 80%. I know that for certainty. So where do we do that? We put that money straight into our opportunity fund. Now, we don't want it just to go into a bank account and earn 0.25% and the bank say, thank you very much. We want to increase that by 400 to 800% to make sure that we can continue to grow our money, and our money is compounding for us inside this opportunity fund, so that we can be ready to invest in real estate, invest in doing option trading, do any of these things that are going to produce money in this growth fund, okay? So I'm going to show you how to increase the effectiveness of your opportunity fund, and then that position us for even more money in our growth fund. Now, in the growth fund, this is where it starts to get fun. This is where we focus on cash flow, okay? We're focusing on creating monthly recurring income into our bank account, whether that's through real estate. You can do it through options trading. You can do it through tax-lien investing. It could be domain trading. It could be more long-term, like getting yourself into real estate opportunity zones, which is kind of like a rich man's Roth that allows you to be able to basically have a tax advantage income over 10 years. But that's a whole separate topic. My point is that you grow your money in your opportunity fund when you become educated in these styles of investing. And one of the things I failed to mention, the opportunity fund, is invest in yourself. You are your best number one paying asset. And I should have said that first, because you are going to produce all this value in the world. And so find ways to learn how to become more efficient at this growth fund. No matter what else you're doing, you can learn how to do this. You can learn how to invest in real estate, whether that's fix and flip, whether that's rental real estate, whether that's commercial real estate, whatever your cup of tea is, whether that's option trading, domain trading, any of these type of things that are going to produce income for you. You want to get in this bucket, you want to get 8 to 24% or higher, but that's pretty much the realistic type of returns that you get in the growth funds so that you can live a great life. Now we're already smoking that other 4% distribution rule, right? Just by doing this and making sure we have the proper foundation, okay? Now, if you really want to have some fun, you say, hey, I'm covered, my base is good, I'm continuing to grow my opportunity fund, I'm getting 8 to 24% in my growth fund. I want to take some risk. I like taking risk. It's fun. I like being in those conversations. Well, let's talk about that. You can put some money in there. And let's say we want to do some angel investing, some private equity type stuff, or we want to invest in an IPO, or there's some really cool tech that you heard about. You think this is going to like change the world. You want to invest in. Great. What about even like penny stocks? That could be huge losses. It could be huge gains. Same thing with crypto. How many of you invested in crypto without having these totally funded? There's a lot of people that are guilty of that. Now, could that make you a lot of money? Yes. But is that financially sound at this point in time? No. Okay? Now there's a lot of opinions out there, but it's still proving itself. It's still so early and there is opportunity there, but that would be considered high risk. So let's make sure that these things are funded properly, and it changes everything. It makes your financial plan so much more efficient, so that you can make sure that you're investing for cash flow, getting these things. And what really changes, guys, is that it's the way that you feel. You're not stressed about where the next paycheck's coming from when you're earning this type of growth in your investments, right? You're not going to be worried about the market just sweeping away. You are creating your own financial peace. You're not relying on anyone. You're not relying on the government. You're not relying on a corporation to save you. You are creating your own path. And that is a sign of a high achiever here. This is for people that really see that and know that they can create their own path and their own opportunity for them and their family. So in our next video, I'm going to talk to you about something that's really cool. It's something that very little people have learned this strategy. I didn't learn it till just like a few years back when I went to this private banking conference. I was invited to a private banking conference, and I'll tell you the story in the next video. But it changed everything for me, and changed especially how I was growing my opportunity fund. So we're going to take a break, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.